Okay, we want to know who you are. So first of all, we would like to raise your hand if you use Moodle. So everybody using Moodle, raise your hand. Okay, everybody just, no, keep your hand up, Chris. No, yeah, it's like, okay. Then you need to lower your hand if you consider yourself a technical Moodle user. So I'm a developer, I'm going to go down my hand. But if you are not, you consider that you are not technical, you should still be like this, okay? Okay, only 3. Non-technical, okay, right? Non-technical, no, you need to stay like this, please. Non-technical? Non-technical stays. Exactly. And then you need to lower your hand if you have ever installed a Moodle site in a server. Any word? Okay. Okay. Okay, you can lower your hand, so that's because it's like she considers herself non-technical. We could discuss about that, but she has been able to install a Moodle server, and that's what this presentation is about, for non-technical people to show you, and at the end of the session, you should be able to have a Moodle site in just a few steps. So,
okay, how it all began. So this is a story of collaboration in a company that gives us the opportunity to collaborate and work together between teams. To start the story, I need to tell you a little bit about my job, content design, for those who don't know what it is. This is my colleague Millie and I. We are the 2 content designers at Moodle. We support all Moodle product teams, creating content with them. Our job is to create clear, purposeful, and user-centered copy to help our users get the things that they need to do done. And we also try to make sure that the content and the structure is aligned with user needs and to make Moodle intuitive to use. So even though we mostly work with UX designers hand in hand and UX researchers throughout the whole process, there are smaller pieces of work where we only do UX writing, which is writing the string, writing the text that you see on the interface of our products. So things like names for settings, error messages, tooltips, confirmation messages, and so on. So sometimes when a developer is working on a smaller project, they will message us and ask us to, can you help me write this error message? Or can you review this? Or can you give me feedback on this sentence that I wrote? And the thing is, when they request that, sometimes the context that they can provide is not enough for us to understand where, why, and when that content is appearing. And if we want to create efficient content, we need to know all of that. So until this project happened, our life looked a lot like, here's a screenshot. Danny, thanks for explaining this, because we kept, had to have a lot of talks to understand how things were. Thanks, Farhan, could you provide a screenshot, please? Sara already provided screenshots because she knew we needed them. When does that happen, please? Can you please provide some context for us to understand when this happens? So luckily at Moodle, we have some brilliant colleagues who are always willing to help and improve how we work. So probably during one of our coffee breaks in the office, I was chatting to Sara about it, this makes our job a bit time-consuming. And then luckily, Project Week was approaching. So what is Project Week?
Okay, Project Week is something that we have twice per year, after major release. So yeah, now during these days, the Project Week is happening. Every people in the teams, is like UX teams, or UX people or developers, have this week for working on anything that we want, related or not with Moodle. So when I was chatting with Júlia about her issues, I had this idea of why not to create an environment for her. It's nice because at the end of the project weeks, we usually showcase them, so it's also nice to see what other colleagues has been doing during this week. There are a few examples in Moodle that have been integrated. You might know them, and they were originally created during the project week, like the availability completion option. The previous activity is like when you are defining, instead of saying one activity, is like the option of saying the previous activity, not one specific, which was created by Ferran, or the payment gateway. created by Shamim, or the 360 feedback plugin, which was created and maintained by June, or the Moodle development kit. I know this is technical, this is for developers, but it was created during a project week by Verdaguer. So yeah, that's amazing that we had this time, and it's amazing to share these coffees with our colleagues, because that way it was like the project was created. I know it's weird because I haven't explained you anything that we are going to do, but let me start it, because it takes like 5 minutes, so that way, while I'm talking and I'm explaining you what it is, it's created. That's the only thing that you need to do. It's like you need to go to this URL. The QR code is going to be in all the slides, so don't worry about that. First time you will need to register in Gitpod, and then you will also be redirected to this page, and then you only need to know how to click the continue button. That's all. Anybody?
I know how to do that.
Yeah. See? So yeah, now things are happening here. The Gitpod is being created, and then we'll be back later. We need these minutes for it to be created. So let's see now what Gitpod is. Gitpod is a free cloud-based service. It's accessible from any browser. So you can, if you are brave enough, you can also try to use it during this session and see if you are able to create your Moodle site during the presentation. You only need, it's like you can be done with your mobile, with your laptop, any device that has a browser. You will need to log in using GitLab, GitHub, or Bitbucket. The first time you will need to register if you don't have any account on them. Probably some of you have the GitHub account, so it should be super easy for you. If not, it's super easy to register, so I highly recommend you. We are using, most of us, GitHub, but any of them will work. And it's like when you create and click this continue button, what's happening there? We are creating a Moodle site with the latest version. So you can play, you can do whatever you want. We will see some examples later with this Moodle site. As I mentioned before, it takes like 5-8 minutes, depending on the network. And one thing that you need to know is that you need to, it's like once the site is created, it has a public URL, and you need to use the admin user, and the password is test. That's all. It's like click here, continue, register in GitHub, GitLab, or Bitbucket, and then remember the password of the admin user, which is test. These sites are created, it's like temporary sites. So it's like if you are not using them, they are automatically removed after 15 days. If you're using them every day, they will still be there. But it's like with the free version, you can create as many spaces as you want. And we usually use them kind of as sandbox. So it's okay to have them and remove after these days.
Okay, so after this integration that Sara did, like for me to be able to literally try new code that had not been integrated into Moodle, I had to click a button and I had a Moodle site. I was so happy, in fact, that I think the first 20 times I used it, I would message Sara and be like, I'm using Gitpod. But the thing is to try a lot of these issues to get to the content that I had to check. I needed to have courses, I needed to have users, so I had to create users, enroll users, create activities, and so on. So, I said to Sara, I'm really loving Gitpod, but could we make it, a bit more efficient? And then, luckily, Project Week was still happening for some of her team, so
Ferran has this nice idea. Ferran is one of our colleagues in the MoodleMoot team. He created this generator tool, which is integrated in Moodle 4.4. We were talking about it yesterday during the Dev Jam. It's something that anybody can use. I know that for non-technical people, it might sound like kind of scary because it's like looking at this code, but it's not that scary because if you pay attention to the code that you can see here, it's only about reading. It's like, we can see if you read what it says. It's like we are creating a course that it's called course test, and then we are adding 3 activities. One is assignment 1, another book 1, and another choose 1. So it's like reading all the content. It's quite easy to understand what will happen if we run this feature file in our Moodle site. You can use the existing examples that we have, but it's like as you will see once we access to the Gitbot, automatically some data is created. So it's like for Julia, not to have to create all these courses and users, she automatically will find all this information because we are taking advantage of this tool with the Gitbot integration. This generator tool can be run by command line or also by the web interface, so it's super easy, anybody can use it. It's kind of unrelated to Gitbot. It's like anybody having a Moodle site 4.4 can use it.
Okay, I know Sara said that the thing wasn't scary, but it might seem a bit complicated to non-technical people. The good news is you don't have to do anything with it. What happens now is when you open a Gitbot, instead of having a blank Moodle site, when you log in, there's a site with 2 courses, with teachers and a lot of activities and then students enrolled. So, and the best thing is that this has a lot of other uses that are really for everyone. For example, you can try plugins. Whether you're a Moodle admin and you don't want to install a plugin on your site, or if you're a teacher and you don't have permissions to install plugins on your site, but you really want to try one to maybe later talk to your admin, you can launch a Gitbot and try it there. Sara, are there any plugins that you've seen recently that you would like to try?
Yeah, I think this morning there were some plugins that were developed by the Moodle project. Maybe we can try to see. It's like we can see this Gitbot thing, if it has finished or not. If it's not, I have a plan B here. It's like, it takes some minutes. Okay, let's see, it's here. Okay, Moodle site is here. I can use it here. I know it's kind of scary because we have all the code there, the files, but you can copy the URL here and paste it in a new tab. That's what I'm doing now. So as you can see, now we have this Moodle site with 2 courses. I can use the admin user with the test password. I'm reminding is in case anybody is trying to also start their Gitbot workspace. Okay, let me remove this. So it's like we want to install some plugin. For instance, the QED one. So we need to download the plugin. Okay, let's put it here, save. And then I need to go to my Moodle site administration. It's a Moodle site, it's an empty Moodle site. I can go to the plugins, I can go to install plugins. I can upload the file. Maybe that's why it's easier. This is the one that just downloads. We can click the install plugin, and now we are going to see that it's okay. By validation, it's okay. And the regular installation plugin, okay. So anybody that has installed a plugin can see that it's a Moodle site with all the steps that we need. We are going to install QED. Let me put the screen size slightly bigger for the people in the room at the end. So now the plugin, this activity is being installed. Now we have probably the settings for this plugin. We continue, and now that the plugin is installed, if I go to any course and I enable edition, so let's go to the course. Okay, thank you for all these tips. And I come here and I enable edit mode. And I go to the add an activity or resource. I have this new activity, which is QED, we just installed. I have no idea. Okay, can you listen to me, right? Okay, so this is the activity. So we have it here, and it was super easy to install. It's a public site, so if you share this URL with any other your colleagues, they will be able to use it online. It's like, as I mentioned before, it's a kind of a temporary site, so you need to be careful when you share this. So easy, right?
Yeah. Okay, something else you can use Gitbot for? I'm sorry. Is to try the latest version of Moodle, because when you launch this, the latest version with the main branch, am I saying that right? Okay.
Perfect.
It's loaded.
You are more technical, I think.
Thank you. So for example, if you launch it now, you will see the new subsections and the AI subsystem already. So if you have credentials with any AI provider, you can actually try it. Something else you can do, and this is the one we use the most, is to try features that people are working on that have not been integrated yet. And that's done with a script that Sara is going to tell you more about. But for us non-technical people, it means there's a button on the tracker that you have to click, and then you get this, so easy.
I love when Júlia translates what I'm going to explain in a hardly word. It's like, for you to know, it's like, I guess that almost everybody here knows the tracker, but in case anybody is not familiarized, the tracker is the system that we use to manage the issues in Moodle. It's for having the bugs, the improvements, the feature requests. Anybody can log in and create these issues and work on them in English. Usually it's the standard language for it. So yeah, what we have done is like this is what Júlia is using the most. What we did was create a Tamper Monkey script. Tamper Monkey is a browser extension that anybody can install in their browser. It works for Firefox and Chrome for sure, and probably other browsers too. And you only need to install this extension and then run a script, copy and paste this script in the Tamper Monkey extension, and then if you visit any tracker issue, you will see this button below every branch that says open in Gitpod. So you only need to click this button, and the code in this issue with the changes that developer have done will be automatically open in the Gitpod workspace. So it's easy for her because she's looking at 100 or 200 issues per day. So yeah, just having this button near the issues, yeah, it's easy to open the code for her.
This is yours.
Okay, yeah. I was expecting this, like, you are super technical, so yeah. You're not brave enough? Okay. Yeah, I know this is kind of more technical, but we can also use it for developing because Gitpod, as you saw at the beginning when I opened the Gitpod workspace, it is embedded the VS Code there. So we can also code and we can do anything we want there. Not sure if we have, yeah, I think that we have time. Yeah. So let's change some code. I know that it sounds scary, but it's not, because we are going to change a lang file. So everybody here is going to understand what we are doing. So let me go back to the site. Let me increase the font size because I guess that at the end of this session, it's okay, kind of, yeah. Okay, as you can see here, we have the Moodle folder. It's a Moodle, it's a clone of the repository of the GitHub repository. So if I go to the lang folder and let me open, for instance, the Moodle file, the Moodle PHP, it's here. I'm going to change one of the lang strings. Oh, no, sorry. I'm familiarized. Yeah, my home, this one, and I'm going to put dashboard. Moodle Global 24, and I save the file. As this is a change that we are doing in a file, in a string, we need to, let me go to the, here. We need to put caches. That's something, it's like, that's something technical, I know, but it's like going to here, put caches because the strings are saved there. And after the caches are put, you will see that in the dashboard is not the dashboard anymore. We have the dashboard, MoodleMoot Global here. So yeah, just one tiny change and we can do whatever we want. That was a simple example. So even for people that are not technical that want to change language strings or anything, you can also use the Gitpod installation. And last but not least, we are also using it for QA testing. Have you ever heard about the QA test? Who knows who QA test is in Moodle?
Who has helped with QA testing? Oh.
Okay, so that it makes sense, this slide. QA is quality assurance testing. That's something that we are doing before every release, every major release. It takes us about 4 and 6 weeks. It just finished for the 5.5 that was released a couple of weeks ago. And the next cycle for the 5.0 will be in March. So we encourage, it would be amazing if you could help us, and you can use Gitbot for testing all the issues. It's super easy because it's like you have a list of issues, a list of things that needs to be tested, and there are a few steps for each the test. So you only need to run this test and check if they are working or not, so you can help us to guarantee that we haven't break anything in the new version. So yeah, more than welcome to join us and help in the next cycle. About the Gitbot project, anybody can share your ideas, anything that you find, or bugs, or is it like if you miss something, share with us, because that was the way that Júlia and I were improving this tool. It's like I was doing the hard work, but she was proposing all the ideas, so it was kind of a team of effort. You will also find the documentation in that link. So yeah, I recommend you to read it and to share your ideas, feedback, use it, and yeah, we'll be more than happy.
Okay, for my non-technical people, who now thinks they're capable of installing a Moodle site in a server? Okay, very good.
Well done. They know how to click a button.
Yeah, it's very easy.
Super proud of you.
I'm happy.
Super proud. Yeah. And who has been successfully launched a Gitbot during the session? Wow.
Oh, a few people.
Okay, well done. We forgot Candice. Oh, it's a pity. Yeah. So yeah, thank you very much. We hope that you use this tool and you, yeah. Thank you.
We have some time for questions, if there are some. Oh, that was very simultaneous.
So, hi. Once again, I love this presentation. It's the second time I've seen this presentation. It's great. About the feature file, let's say that you create a feature file and you have, and since we're talking about testing, since you've created a feature file and you like leave out a couple of required fields, like say for creating users, what kind of feedback is given when an error is thrown with that particular tool?
If you use it through the web interface, you will see the errors. It's like if you are not sure if the file is going to work, I recommend you to use the web interface, and you will see it's kind of helping you to see, and it stops. It's like if one of the steps is not working, it's like we say, this is not working. So if it's like, if you have any trouble, come to me.
Hi, thank you for the presentation. So my question is, I personally don't know how to set up a Moodle and a server, so this would be, well now, yeah, with that. But my question is, you work Moodle. In my mind, I assume that you can, it's no effort for you to set up a Moodle in a server in like an instant. So what advantage does it provide to you to use Gitbot?
I mean, to me, I have colleagues that can help me do that. But honestly, if I'm looking at a lot of issues, just if I can review the code by just clicking a button, it makes my day much more efficient. So
I see.
Yeah.
So is
yeah.
Yesterday we have a presentation for technical people. I'm a developer in HQ, and one of the uses of this project was I had a problem with 5 different laptops. They broke, all of them. So one of them, I was using Windows. And I don't know for you, but for technical people, for me at least, Windows is a horror. It's a nightmare. So I was able to continue working in a Windows environment because of this. So maybe for you, seems like for technical people, it's so easy to install a Moodle site, but it's not always as easy. So it works also for when you don't have your own laptop and you have just a random laptop somewhere, this is so easy to use, and you can work for a couple of days or whatever, like any laptop. That's amazing.
It's like it's not the local environment that we usually use for developers, but it's like in case you don't have your laptop or you break like five times or things like that happen. It's like it can be used, so it's why not? But it's like not what we usually use, but because the tool that we created for it. But It's like we are taking advantage and using for more things. So, thanks.
Thank you. Great presentation. Great tool. Users, you can enroll people, test. I mean, no problem. I mean, there's no limitation whatsoever.
No.
Okay.
It's like you can use a feature file by default. I think it's 5 students, 2 teachers created automatically.
Oh, they are.
Do anything, but if you need more teachers, you can create it.
Do that.
You have
And
the
then-
make test course too, so you can create a bunch of users. So you can do anything with Moodle.
And then cron is running. I mean, if you've got no.
You need to run it. It's like there is
Okay, manual
by
cron.
command line. You can access to your Moodle site. It's like in the technical session that we gave with Amaya 2 days ago. Maybe you can watch the recording. It's like you can run PHP unit. We had units, so it's kind of anything that you can do in a Moodle site, running this kind of
You can run it
scripts
manually.
can be done here too.
Manually.
Yeah.
Yeah, we already said that you also have an email server simulator, so you can also send emails and see that the emails have been sent and everything.
It's like this Gitbot. This is a little bit technical. It's integrated with our Moodle Docker. So anything that can be done with Moodle Docker can be done with this, because that's the tool that we are using to start Gitbot. So you can run this Beta test. It's also integrated with LDAP. So there are a lot of things that you can really do with it. And the URL is public, so you can also use it for testing LTI, SCORM, things like that. So yeah. In fact, we were using it during the QA test, right, Safat? Yeah.